very loud. The ground shook. You could just feel it going down through you.
Claiming Boston's resilience in the face of an attack that left 4 dead, 264 injured.
Make no mistake, we will get to the bottom of this. Any responsible individuals, any responsible groups will feel the full weight of justice.
The terrorists that left the bombs near the road were 2 brothers. One was eventually killed, the other one was arrested. So then a manhunt ensued that played out on live TV, and it ended up with the brothers sort of, barricading themselves in a boat.
Performed by 2 Muslim people who put a homemade bomb in a bag and basically bombed the marathon and killed him.
There was 2 people at the time. It was just after Sandy Hook, and people were connecting that somehow.
But I remember there being a lot of news coverages for it because it was like a big deal and a lot of people got killed. There was a lot of death.
Well, it was a marathon and people bombed, people running. That's all.
Not that many people died, but there were a lot of people injured. It was really sad. I felt bad for the families and stuff.
Everyone was running, and the terrorists had backpacks with bombs in them. I think the backpacks got down there, and they bombed the marathon.
2 men who either threw bombs into the crowd or put them into garbage bins or something, and then it blew up near the finish line.
Time before I actually started reading the news and trying to digest what was happening in the world. I was lazy and I didn't want to read articles. I didn't want to watch the news. I really didn't want to know of all the hatred that was swarming our country.
There's one victim in particular that has always stood out to me. He was a child who was killed, and I remember in the day or 2 after the explosion seeing a seeing a picture of this 9-year-old boy in his first Holy Communion. Has stuck with me. In my mind, he's sort of the face of the victims of the Boston Marathon. And of course, the tragedy that sort of Boston strong to bring people together and sort of convey how in times of tragedies Americans tend to bond together.
Really tragic, and when it happened, I was just completely shocked. I felt terrible for the families that lost children and family members, and I just remember how sad it was for our nation.
Telling me about it, and I actually watched some of the videos they had on the news the next day. It's important that they're bringing awareness to it now with making the movie with the guy who actually lost his legs, and I don't know. No, I usually just read the title.
No. Most certainly not. I just see the headline. That looks interesting. I sent it to somebody.
I usually hear about an event from other people before I read an article about it, and within the mix of people, things get over-exaggerated, and you tend to go on the internet and look up and see what's actually true.
No, I just read the important parts.
Yes.
To be completely honest, I don't sometimes. I know I should, but sometimes I speak before I know all the facts.
Every day.
Every day.
Every time I get on my phone, there's always something new, so.
Every morning when I'm getting ready, I watch the news, so every day.
Every day.
A new news story. I'd say every day there is so much going on around the world that there's most likely going to be a new news story every single day.
Well, I watch the news every morning with my mom, so I guess every day. A long time, I guess. I mean, I'll look at something and it'll remind me about the situation, about that big thing happening, so I guess I don't ever really forget. New things happen every week, so pretty much within a couple days.
Pretty fast, because there's so many new ones 24/7. It's just,
It's hard to forget about major issues. You'll put them in the back of your mind. It's not like you think about them every day, but whenever someone brings it up again, you're like, oh, yeah, that was tragic.
For super major events like the Las Vegas shooting and like the Boston bombing at the time was very major, so I remember thinking about it a lot but not really getting too invested into it.
It depends. It depends on the situation. Things that are particularly tragic stay with me for weeks, months, sometimes years. You know, there are certain things, 9/11, the Newtown shooting of those small children, that never really leave me. That's not the norm. That's not the norm. Those are more the exception. So I think generally something sticks in my mind for days.